You ready, Jay?
Yes, sir.
You ready? Y'all ready? We'll get started. I want to welcome everybody to the September 6th, 2022 meeting at official time 6 o'clock. If I can get approval of the agenda.
So moved, Chairman.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
That's great. Thank you, Daylon. Tonight is our pleasure to have Reverend John Haney. He's the chaplain of Jones County Sheriff's Department. He's going to do an invitation and pledge. You may hop forward.
Thank you, sir. It's good to be with you. Always glad to have the honor to be here with you. Join me tonight as we pray together. Gracious God, we're grateful for the beauty of the day in which we have lived this day. We're grateful for the place in which we live. We're grateful for those who serve our community to give us a better place to live. We're grateful to those who serve in the military and grateful for our law enforcement as they provide us a safe place to sleep at night. We're grateful for the citizens of Jones County as they continue to do what is right and best to make this county a better place to live. Remind us all that we do not live as an island. We're grateful for the work of our county commissioners. Oftentimes, Lord, we know that it's a thankless job. We pray that they will continue to be good stewards of our tax dollars and they'll use them wisely. Lord, I know the task before them is always bigger than they are. May you give them wisdom and guide them with your divine spirit that they may do what is best. Guide them in all their decisions this evening and each and every day. In your name we pray. Amen. You join me as we pledge the allegiance together. I pledge allegiance to the United States
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brother.
All right, before we move on to planning and zoning, we'll hear the planning and zoning request. If anybody's here is in opposition of this, any of these requests, you'll get an opportunity to speak. Mr. Petrowski, you want to start?
Chairman, our first item this evening is a request by Laura Martin. This is a request to rezone from RR to Ag 1 with a condition of use to allow a deer cooler. A variance was granted for this request by the Planning Commission. We have a requirement that a pit be provided for all deer processing facilities, and she was going to be providing that off-site. The Commission did recommend denial of this request after granting the variance.
Okay. All right, Ms. Martin, you want to come forward and answer any questions you might have with the board? You just tell us a little bit about your request and give the board opportunity to answer any questions they might have for you.
They wanted me to get a petition signed, which I have. I really wanted to rezone like an acre, if I could do that, to open it in memory of my husband. I do have a petition,
Okay. Well,
but I got 6.
we'll keep that for the record for the zoning request. Anything else you want to tell us about it, or?
Just waiting to get an okay, hopefully,
All right.
where I can move forward.
Any questions from the board?
This might be a question for Tim. So the variance was approved, but the request was denied?
Yes, the recommendation is denial for the conditional use rezone.
I guess I don't understand how you prove one and not the other. Can you, a little explanation to kind of help all of us understand?
It's two separate issues. One is, should she be allowed to have off-site disposal of waste for a deer processing facility? The board heard that request, and they felt like that, yes, storing the waste off-site or disposing the waste off-site would be acceptable. So they granted approval of that portion of the request. Then they moved into discussing whether the property should be rezoned to allow a deer processing facility at this location, and they denied that. They recommended denial of that portion of the request.
My next question is, does it have to even be rezoned? I mean, I'm not planning on ever leaving there.
I mean, it does to have the business on the property.
Because this
'Cause
is
it's
a
just-
separate issue, but, I work at a deer cooler now in Bolingbrook, but his opened so many years ago that it was like grandfathered in, so they didn't have to like rezone anything.
I understand the difference in, you know, why they did, but it's almost, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to approve allowing to haul it off-site. I mean, I get why they did it, because one's an action and one's a rezoning issue, but if we're saying we're gonna approve something that you can haul it off-site, but you can't do what you were gonna haul off-site because of the zoning issue, so what was
See,
the?
they originally mentioned like a pit or something to dispose on my land, which I didn't wanna do from the get-go. But then I didn't have the 10 acres that was required, so I got that set up through Ryan.
So I'm assuming, just looking at I'm assuming that the people that spoke against was due to having the byproduct on site until it's hauled off. Is that
I'm
fair?
sorry, I couldn't hear.
Was part of the opposition because they're going to have the byproduct of the deer processing on site until it's hauled off?
That was one of the concerns, yes, sir.
Because I can see you got to store it somewhere on site. If you pick it up once a week, then you're going to have the carcasses of the deer there for a week until we haul it off.
I was planning on like keeping them in a cold storage cooler until they get hauled off.
Well, that would solve that because we're not outside. So
So I guess you have to have a separate, second cooler for the waste product versus the finished product. Maybe have 3 coolers or so.
Commissioner Kitchen, any more questions on this one before I direct it to
well,
Commissioner
one
Wood?
for Tim. Is there? She says we could store it in a cooler. Is there a requirement if it was approved? Is there a requirement? Able to have a requirement that it not be stored outside? Could that be a condition of the conditional use, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Any questions for Commissioner Wood?
No questions. I'm just looking at the recommendation.
Okay. You want a minute or two? Let me ask for people for the opposed.
Good.
Okay. All right.
That's what we do over at the deer cooler when it works fine.
Okay. All right. You'll have a seat. We got any more questions for you, but I'm going to see if anybody's here in opposition to the request. Anyone here tonight in opposition to this request? You just come forward, yeah. Just, if you would, introduce yourself and give us your address for the record.
Sherry Story, 111 Sheehaw.
Yes, ma'am.
Her lot is 2 lots behind mine. Mine's on 18, actually, facing 18, where hers is actually down Sheehaw.
Okay.
She's asking for 3.4 acres for one of them to be zoned agriculture. The other lot, I believe, is owned by her, not actually her. But, and it's actually in Walnut Creek subdivision. And it's my understanding when you live in a subdivision, all your land has to be zoned residential. So we just moved there in November, under the impression we were in a subdivision. I never would have thought anybody would have changed and actually put a business technically in my backyard. But I mean, I just object to it, really.
Any questions?
Do we have any information on the covenants of that subdivision, Tim, that would, or?
Which we wouldn't have anything over the subdivision.
No,
anyhow,
I'm just
for the
wondering
county.
about, if it sets a precedent, what if we get a 18-wheeler shop 2 doors down, it starts a precedent of operating a
Right.
commercial business in a residential area.
Ms. Story, part of our criteria is how it affects adjoining land or the community around it. So you might have asked why, you say you oppose it in general, what would be?
Ainsley's a half a mile down 18 from where we live. As far as coming and going, I'm not sure what the traffic would be coming and going. I understand and acknowledge this is a dead-end road. If someone comes into her house or her yard, they certainly would most likely turn around and go back by the way they came in. But I mean, it's putting more traffic on 18, which is a very busy road. And like I said, there's Dane Ferry right there. Like I said, we just moved there. We don't know the other neighbors and actually how it would affect my property taxes or the value of my house. I don't know. But I mean, I didn't move there with the intentions of somebody opening a business.
Any other questions? None. Thank you very much. Anyone else like to talk tonight? No, I said, no, ma'am, I appreciate it. I was going to see if anybody else wanted to talk in opposition for this request. We thank you very much. Yes, ma'am, thank you. Anyone else want to speak? No, if no one, what's the board want to do?
Chairman, I'm just looking to see what the, why the board denied it. I mean, normally without a good rebuttal, we generally follow suit with the recommendation of the board because they've heard all the pertinent information about it.
Right.
And I don't know that we've heard anything tonight that changes what this board board recommends. I mean, in general, we appoint those board members to hear these cases and,
Right.
and make a decision on them. So without something, something different than what was heard on that board, I don't know if we have anything to change the recommendation of the board, of that board. So, I mean, I don't have a motion to approve.
No motion? We get one for,
I'll make a motion to deny the request.
okay, we have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Let's have it. All right. Thank you, Daylon.
Chairman, our next item on the agenda is a request by Derek McDuffie to rezone from RR to M2 an existing building. It's located off of Alton Road, Fallonville Road. They're close to Alton Road. The Planning Commission has recommended approval of this request.
All right, I think Mr. Duffy was sick tonight and wasn't able to be here.
Yes, sir, I've called him on the phone. If we have any questions for him, hopefully he's answered by now.
If he wants to speak while you got him, tell him to, we'll try our best on the speakerphone.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, Mr. McDuffie, you're on.
Okay.
Board should be able to hear you. Derek,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
yes, sir, go ahead.
Okay. All right. I heard what you said, that it had been approved. If I had any questions or anything, that was about the end of it, I heard.
Now, do you want to add anything to the request on your opportunity to speak?
It hasn't been approved yet, Mr. McDuffie. The board is hearing it now, so if you've got any testimony you want to give them, this is your chance.
Okay. I can't think of anything. I mean, I know I got some cleaning up of some sawdust around here to make the place look a little better. Other than that, I mean, it's a working business. We build pallets. We sawmill lumber, and yes, we do have lumber brought in. We have pallets shipped out and so forth. I can't think of anything. If anyone's got any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Have you got any questions for Derek?
No question.
This is basically back before the zoning days when this building is actually, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So this is one of those businesses we've seen in the past that have been there since prior to our zoning in the county and just hasn't never been. I think Mr. McDuffie's trying to correct a zoning issue so he can go further. All right. Is anyone here tonight in opposition to this request? No one? What would the board like to do?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve this request.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Second. Commissioner Martin, we got discussion. All right, that's the call for it. All right, thank you. I keep forgetting you're on the phone. I need to
Yeah,
picture
that's no
on the
problem.
phone.
No problem. I'm listening. I can barely hear you, Chris. But,
All right, hold on, Derek.
Hold on a second, Mr. McDuffie.
All right,
Sure,
if there's no more discussion, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Derek, go back and get well.
Mr. McDuffie, the request has been approved.
Well, thank y'all, and I appreciate y'all working with me, not being able to be there this afternoon, and thank y'all for everything.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, we move on to board appointments tonight. Our first appointment will be the Jones County Development Authority Board appointment. You've got a package that was submitted and requested they'd like to be considered for the countywide appointment for the Development Authority. Y'all had an opportunity to review it?
Yes, sir. Motion to approve Freeman Charles Brooks to the Development Authority Board.
Second?
Second. All right, Commissioner Martin, we're getting ready to ask for any discussion. Any discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. We've got one other appointment tonight. The gentleman, Mr. Reed, if you remember several weeks ago, he came up and spoke and showed interest in the Historic Preservation Board. I think he said that his family was from Clinton and would like to be considered. Any
Second.
second? Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you, Daylon. I hear you. All right, we thank everybody. Like I said, he was also the countywide appointment also, correct? Okay, all right. Great, we're moving on. Consent agenda approval for minutes. We had the budget hearing on August 6th, along with work session on the 16th, along with the third Tuesday on the 16th, and an executive session. We were busy that night. Public hearing on the 23rd, call meeting on the 30th, and executive session on the 30th. The board's had opportunity to review the minutes. If no change, I entertain a motion to
Motion to approve, Chairman.
Second?
second. All right, no discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Visitors, Mr. Risner, we don't have no visitors, so new business, culvert repairs.
And I'd ask that we postpone that item.
Okay, I need a motion to postpone culvert repairs to the next meeting.
Motion to postpone culvert repairs to the next meeting, Chairman.
All right, if we got a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Martin. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay, Mr. Graham, you got us a safety grant to speak about tonight.
Yes, sir.
We're excited about this.
Yes, sir, I
You told
am
me a
too.
bit about it, and I think this is great.
Well, through the years, the FEMA had offered a assistance to firefighters grant, several different sectors, and the one for more firefighters, more employees, it used to be that they would help you out the first year like 100%, maybe 80% the second year, and it moves on down until you're settled and ready to go. The Safer Grant now is offering 100% for 3 years, and then it's all yours after that. But with the high cost of the salaries I would like to move forward with the grant, AFG Safer Grant. It's the Safer stands for Staffing and Adequate Fire and Emergency Response. I'd like to go forward and apply for this grant.
Is this a competitive grant, or is it just based off of population, or?
I think a little bit of both. More competitive more than anything. Last year, I think Twiggs County, I believe they got 700,000, over 700,000. Savannah got 5 million. There were several places in Georgia that got it this past year. I called Washington this afternoon and talked with a few people. The the dates will come up in November, and it'll be open up for about a month and a half, and then from there, then they'll start trimming. But I'm ready to go with it.
Yeah, wish us luck.
Yep, I think it's a good idea, Chairman, especially with the decision we made, having some full-time firefighters. I think that helps us. And just to be clear, Jason, I think we talked about this is not a reimbursement. You've got to, we can't start our process and apply for this to pay us back. We got to apply for this first.
Correct. Yeah, you can't hire anybody until after you're approved for the grant.
Motion to move forward with the safer grant, Chairman.
I like that.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're up with mutual aid agreement.
Yes, sir, got a mutual aid agreement with Monroe County Emergency Services. We've got a new chief over there, Matt Jackson, and we've come to some agreements of offering help to one another. Ours is in place with them, but he needs something from us, and we're willing to help him any way we can.
That's great. Working together is how it works. Can I get a motion for that?
Motion to approve mutual aid agreement with Monroe County.
I'll take a second from Commissioner Martin and Commissioner Kissman. Whoever you want to write down first, they're both the same. All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Taylor said aye. I'm sure he got quiet on me. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Don. Sewer funding options.
I can start out
You can
talking
start,
some.
let Tim
and-
have it, okay?
And y'all can ask Tim the hard questions. So I think individually, we've had conversations off and on about sewer-related things. You know, about a year ago, the state released some programs for water and sewer. We were able to get some water money through that program. And we understood that there may be a second round of water and sewer money. They did recently release some water money, but the requirements of that program are such that we're not going to meet those. They have not opened up any type of new sewer program. And so when we originally thought about talking to you about this topic, our thought was that, hey, we're going to have to ask to apply for GFA money to match the state money. Now it appears like there's not going to be any of that state grant money. So what we wanted to talk to you about tonight is just to kind of get the board's feelings on moving forward potentially if it's just loan. And is there an appetite for doing that? And if there is some appetite for doing that, should we go ahead and prepare a GFA application just to see what type of terms we might be eligible for? GFA's got a standard rate that they publish on their website. We're eligible for a half a percentage point reduction because we're a Plan First community, and so that would reduce that somewhat. But they do give out loans at more favorable terms than that. So I think we just kind of wanted to have that conversation with you tonight and see what your feelings were on maybe submitting a GFA application. So I'll turn it over to Tim for any.
No, I think that's really it in a nutshell. What do you want to do?
Economic development, we got to have sewer. I think it's time to at least see what our options are. We know that without sewer, we won't have any economic development, and we're very much in need of that for this community.
I agree. Jason, let me ask you, if we apply for I'm going to use round numbers, $1 million GFA fund, and we're approved for it, and there's no state funding that we thought we could use as a match, and then the state comes out and says we got a $5 million opportunity, could we then use that $1 million as match for
Yes.
that? Okay.
Yep.
So we're just laying the groundwork now on
Right.
something we know we need, which is sewer.
Yep.
If we're gonna plan on developing anything, we gotta have sewer. So I'll speak for Commissioner Martin on this one. He's been talking about it forever.
I mean, it'll take 5 or 6 months to go through the process.
I think we look and see, because I don't think the rates are gonna go down any. I think if we get in the door, it might be a good time to get in on it.
Commissioner Martin, I'm gonna take that as a motion. Is that all right? All right.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Old business, second reading of the water rate ordinances. I'll get it straight.
Mr. Chairman, this is just where we were pulling the rate schedule out of our code of ordinances and adopting it as a resolution. So you've already adopted it as a resolution, and this is just kind of the final step in that process.
Any questions for Mr. Risner?
Does this one take a motion, or we do it on the first one?
I think you need a motion to approve the second
Both
reading.
of them.
Motion to approve the second reading of the water rate ordinance, Chairman.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right, ayes have it. Ms. Wagner asks that we get a motion to postpone the certification to the next meet.
Motion to postpone certifications to the next meeting, Chairman.
Second.
Second. And then, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it, thank you, thank you. Department heads, who wants to start tonight? Go ahead.
Just wanted, everything going good, Parks, Rec, and Golf. Wanted to thank each and every one of y'all for approving the budget and the special request. That's really gonna help our departments with productivity and just general morale among the employees, so thank y'all very much.
Yeah, they asked me, they said, when are we gonna get some more?
I know they want them tomorrow.
And I said, you got 3. Man, got 3 that broke down. I said, you got 3 new ones coming.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody told us. I said, oh, I shouldn't have told you then, should I?
You want to surprise them like a birthday present, right?
All right. Brandon?
Hard to follow up that. Thank y'all. Same thing Bert said.
Anybody? John?
I ain't got anything.
All right, thank you.
Double ditto.
You know, no thank you, I mean, no nothing tonight?
Thank
Wow.
y'all for everything.
Thank you. No, we thank
Appreciate
y'all,
it.
each and every one of you. We can't thank y'all enough.
Just one quick thing. I was just going to say, proposals for the playground upgrades were due last week. We got proposals from 5 different companies, and so we're putting together a staff committee to go through and evaluate those and grade them based on the criteria that was outlined in the RFP. And hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll have recommendations for you on those.
Thank you. Miss Ashley, you got anything for us tonight?
No, sir.
Wow,
Thanks for checking.
you've been mighty quiet tonight.
Y'all have it all under control. I feel like I'm not even needed.
Oh, you got it. We
No,
got.
no. Don't think that.
Yeah. All right.
I'm here if you need me.
Good deal. We move, how about citizen comments? Any citizen tonight want to come forward? None? Commissioner Martin, you want to start off tonight? Commissioner comments?
My pleasure. I'm excited about the water and the sewer, especially like Sam said, it's been a long time coming, and you echoed as well for economic development. I know the other half of Sun Valley is interested, and we're not making any promises or commitments, but if they hear it, they're going to show up. So, and I think for our future projects or potential for those on the industrial park, anybody around the state listening, let them know that we're going to be ready. Personally, Jason, just have a follow-up on the bike and trails over there. I want to see where we are, because I haven't heard much lately.
Just before the meeting, Ashley and I were talking, we got a proposed contract from the vendor, and just got a couple changes to make in that, and it'll be ready to roll.
Excellent. And some constituents asked me about the cycling part, but especially about the walking, so I'm excited about that. And with that being said, Mr. Chairman, I thank everybody for your work. Appreciate it.
All right. Be careful. Commissioner Wood?
All right. Just want to once again thank our employees for their hard work day in, day out. It's a tireless job and a thankless job for everything they do. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Chairman, shout out to all of our department heads. As usual, they do a great job making us look good and keeping the phone calls off of us. Especially Bert with the pickleball, and I'll give him accolades from Wendy since she's not here. But pickleball was a huge success. We did the ribbon cutting out there, and it had a huge crowd, and I had at least 3 people before I left talk about the opportunities that those courts are going to bring, whether it was tournaments, women's league, men's league, co-ed leagues, and travel tournaments, all the things that we're able to do now. There were several players there that traveled around the state, and they said, you know, never thought something like that would be in a small county like Jones, that, you know, there's places in Macon Bibb that are not like that. And so proud of that and happy to see that huge crowd that turned out. So, Brandon, I think everybody's heard and seen of some of the issues we've had that are out of our control when it comes to electronics and electrical and computer and technology. I mean, those are things that we really can't control. I think Brandon deserves a huge shout out for getting in front of these issues and explaining to the public what's going on, and instead of everybody blowing up. I mean, I was the first one to call him. I paid 4 water bills, and I called him and said, hey, all 4 of mine are like twice as much as they usually are. And he said, just calm down, Commissioner. So
you were one of those people that call and complain?
Yeah, he said, if you'll read the notice we put out, and I was like, oh, I didn't read that. But yeah, so there are technological issues we're having, but he got out in front of it and put it on social media and put it out on our website and everything, so that folks know we understand there's a problem, we're working on the solution, but it's kind of, even though it's out of our hands, out of our control, it is something that he's staying on top of. So I think that's the customer service aspect that we've been looking for, is to make sure that people know that we know there's an issue and they know that we're working on it, and it's not anything we're trying to hide. So kudos on that, Brandon.
I couldn't figure out hitting the share button. That's about my intelligence I've got on Facebook. I couldn't find it. I don't know if you had it shareable or not, but it was. You can.
3 times.
So I did it wrong, right? Okay.
No, I'm just messing with you.
All right. Needless to say, it was nice to look at Facebook, and all right, it wasn't no complaints. It was, that's good to know. You know, people actually positive about. Well, that's good to know. We know, you know. So when you get out in front of it like that, and I'll let one of y'all show me how to use it. I didn't see share on it nowhere, but I sure looked for it. But that's great. All right, if there's nothing out from the commissioners, I need a motion to adjourn to go to executive session for personnel.
So moved. Second.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank y'all. Thank everybody for coming.